What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. God damn it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are back with Project YZ450F. I know we had a little bit of a takeaway and we had to do stuff on the Ranger. That project is complete. If you guys want, make sure to check that out. Totally different style than what we're doing right now. But anyways, we have a ton of boxes here. I think this is the most boxes I've ever seen at one time. I don't know about you guys, but this is pretty freaking exciting. Pretty obvious what's in these boxes. I've had these forever, like since I started Project YZ450F, and I've been dying to finally open this stuff up. This is going to be the best part. This is really where we're going to be bringing the entire bike together, and we might even entirely finish the bike in this video. Now, if you followed this project since the beginning, you saw we cleaned up the bike really well, made certain things like the chain come like brand new again, painted the wheels black, we added new grips, CNC levers, put a big gun exhaust on, and just made the bike way cleaner and look a lot nicer. Now, for those that are new, this bike was a good running bike to begin with. Really, the only issue I had was that the front bearing and the wheels were bad. Took care of that right away, and the rest of this project is mostly cosmetic, which is what we're going to be getting to today. It's pretty obvious, like I said, what's in these boxes. I mean, it literally says it right on there. But this is the most exciting part of the project, like I said before. So let's just dive right into it and start opening up these packages. All right, so let's start with the plastics, since this is one of the biggest boxes, and it's probably the least exciting. So let's just get this out of the way. Nobody wants to see this crap. Well, it's definitely nice that these all come in individual bags, which would definitely prevent chafing or, rub marks from being inside the box during shipping. I imagine that's why they do that, so I really like that. I'm not going to take these out of the bags just right yet because, well, we don't really need to, and it's just going to keep them nice. Also got new number plates in here too. So this will lead us into our next box right here. Another front fender. What? All right, so you guys are probably wondering why I have a second front fender here. Well, I'll tell you why, because this is the newer style fender as opposed to the older style fender, which I believe ended in 2009, which is the year of this bike. I'm not going to take these out of the package because I'm probably going to resell this one. And I was a little bit weary of this happening. I don't know if you guys can see it with the camera, but this yellow is just slightly darker than this yellow. Now, on the bike with the graphics and stuff on there, we can probably get away with it. Not exactly what I wanted, but I think we'll be able to rock it and we'll be okay. This is actually the yellow that I wanted. This is kind of like a more vibrant yellow, the Polysport. But, what are you going to do? It's really hard to tell online, whether or not the plastics are going to be exactly the same. I probably should have searched for a Polysport front fender, but what are you going to do? This will work just fine. It should be really easy to modify this to fit on there. I might not even have to modify it at all, but putting this new front fender on there is really going to update the look of the bike. And our last big box. What could it be? Oh, a used part? What? There you go, guys. You guys asked for it. You guys got it. A brand new pre-owned subframe. It's supposed to be nice and straight. It looks like it's pretty straight. So we will replace our subframe and get rid of that slightly bent one that we have on there. That'll make the fender line up very nicely and definitely improve the look of the bike. And now for these small junk bags, because bags just aren't as good as boxes. Most of the time. If it was a bag filled with money, I'd probably like it. Boom! New air filter, because the one that we were pulling off and trying to clean was completely trashed, not even worth cleaning. Might as well spend 10 bucks on a new filter. This bag here is our seat cover. This actually feels like it's pretty decent quality. This is a cheapie. This was 13 bucks. So it was the right color, and it was so cheap, I just figured I might as well give it a shot. Can't really lose. If it sucks, I'll just get another one. And last but not least, boom, some Yamaha graphics. These are going to look sweet on those yellow plastics for sure. Now, I actually also ordered number plate graphics, but unfortunately, I guess I misplaced those, or they haven't come yet. I'm not really sure. But anyways, these are all the parts that we have to complete this project. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and take our old subframe off, and while the subframe's off, I want to take our carburetor off because we're going to have easy access to that, clean that up, and then we'll throw that back on and start putting everything together. All right, guys, let's get this subframe off. First thing we got to do is take off this super big gun exhaust, which will be easy. It's only 2 bolts. Now we'll loosen up our intake boot. We'll take off the 4 main bolts on the subframe. Oh man, I just noticed this. On the new subframe, one of the seat bolts, I guess, was spinning and somebody drilled it out and drilled a couple holes in it. Luckily I can through bolt that, but that kind of sucks, especially since the old one has perfect tabs. Thought about bringing these into work today and welding it, but a through bolt's going to work just fine. That just kind of sucks, but it's something you won't see when the bike's totally together. Hopefully this thing is straight, man. They both look pretty much the same, but this came from a reputable place, so, you know, I imagine that it is straight. So, whatever, we'll see what it looks like. Now, while I have easy access to my carburetor, I'm going to go ahead and take off the tank so that we can pull that thing out, and I'm going to give that a good cleaning. That was the one thing that I think this bike needed to make it run a little bit better. It does start and run pretty decent, but I might as well clean that up. And I want to take the throttle cable and lube that up too, because it's a little bit tacky. I'd like to make that a little bit smoother. Easily done in the position that we're in now. So I'm actually going to take care of that. I'm not going to film cleaning the carburetor, but I did want to mention that I will be doing that. Boom! All right, guys, check it out. I actually jumped ahead and swapped out this subframe already, and you guys can probably see some yellow poking through here. I pulled the carburetor off, put some yellow lines on there. I cleaned the carburetor, I adjusted the jets a little bit. The main jet is staying the same. That is what was recommended. Changed up the pilot, pulled the fuel air screw out a little bit. Just some minor adjustments that should work just fine with the big gun slip-on. Really didn't need anything radical. You know, it's not that big of a performance mod. It's just going to sound nice, gives it a different look. Also, you can see, got that brand new air filter on there, came pre-oiled, and that was actually pretty cool. It came with a set of gloves and everything. Made it nice and dirt-free. Adjusted the chain, oiled the chain. Everything's nice and tight back here. You can see this bike is looking nice and clean. Also, I went ahead and covered up our seat. This is with that cheapy $13 seat cover. It feels decent. It really doesn't feel bad at all. It's a universal fit. It went on here really nice. We'll see how it holds up. For 13 bucks, you just can't lose, man. 13 bucks shipped. And it's going to match these plastics perfectly. That's going to be really nice. Now I have the new style fender next to the old style fender here. The only reason I don't have the newer one out of the bag is because I'm probably going to resell it. And so I just have the old one here. It just looks like shit because it's spray painted. But what I had to do was adjust these holes. You can see where they originally were. And I had to move the holes just a little bit. Put our little inserts in there. so that it's going to be just like the old fender, and that should bolt up just fine. So let's go ahead and get these plastics on and the seat on and see what she looks like. All right, guys, so the plastics are on. I don't know if the camera can pick up the slight difference in yellows from the seat cover to the plastics, and from that front fender to the rest of the fenders. These fenders are just a little bit lighter, whereas this yellow is a little bit darker. And this is the yellow that I actually wanted. But it's not too much different. You know, it's not too bad that it makes the bike look weird. And these graphics are actually a little bit darker. That's going to be another one of those things. I don't know if you can pick that up in this camera. But once I put these graphics on, I think that will help blend everything in. And it should look pretty good. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering why I put this old-ass number plate on. And there's two reasons, and that's because I thought this plastic kit came with a new number plate in the front, and it didn't. So I don't have that number plate, and I don't feel like waiting for it. This one's in decent shape, and the reason that I'm going to run it is because I do have number decals coming, and that's going to cover this up nicely, and it should look brand new. You won't even notice that it's old plastics, so I'm not too worried about it. And of course, these are going to be covered up by the number plate graphics as well. Now, I found out that those number plates that I ordered, I thought I maybe just misplaced them. They got shipped to Arizona for some reason. So I don't live in Arizona. So they're shipping out another set, but it's probably going to take like 3 to 6 weeks for them to get here because they're coming from China. So I'm not going to worry about waiting for those. We'll finish this up with the regular graphics, and we'll fire this baby up and see how she runs. And one more thing I want to do, guys, is I'm going to pull this seat off, and I want to throw a nutsert in here so it'll at least be somewhat like this size. It's not going to be the OEM bolt size, but I do have nutserts. The guys at work were gracious enough to loan me this nutsert gun, so I am going to throw one in there, and that'll make it as OEM as possible because it's going to be pretty much impossible to throw a through bolt on there anyway. So let me do that right now. Now, these things are actually pretty cool if you've never seen how these work before. This is the nutsert right here. And what we're going to do is put it right in this hole here. It's almost the perfect size. I think it should crunch up and hold just fine. And what you do is screw it on the tip of this gun. And as this screws down, it compresses the entire nutsert, which makes it wider, fills up the gap, especially in the back, and then it shouldn't come through. So we'll just go ahead. Actually had the wrong head on there. I had to switch it out. So you just thread it on like so until it's flush. And then, like I said, once that starts spinning, it'll crush down the nutsert and make it so that it won't come out. So let's see if we can get this to work. And there you go, guys. So check that out. I actually had to turn the pressure up a little bit so that it would crunch it down a little more. You can see in the back, it mushroomed out on the inside there. That's not going to go anywhere. So now we'll be able to take our bolt. and thread it right in. All right, guys, those plastics went on perfect. I think it looks really cool the way that it does. So let's get those graphics on. Got my heat gun here and my Bondo smoother. This is really soft, almost like rubber plastic, and that'll work nice for smoothing out our bubbles. Probably use a little bit of Windex underneath, just so that we get those things on nice and smooth. Should be good to go. I cannot wait to see what this thing looks like. Let's get it on. All right, guys, now we're actually going to start with the front fender, just because that's a really easy part to start. And this graphic is set up for the 06 to 09 style body, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'm just going to trim up the edges here and maybe put a couple slots in here so that it's easier to form to this plastic. But I think we should be able to make this look fairly like it was made for this. So I'm just going to take a pencil and kind of make some rough marks on the back of the sticker backing, and we'll see if we can trim it up and make it look OEM. All right, guys, now these graphics came out looking amazing. I'm really happy with this color scheme. I think the bike flows really nice. Looks like it's supposed to be that way. The seat cover's not even on there yet. And that's because I wanted to show you guys, I'm sure if you've put on graphics before, you're familiar with this. You get these kind of gluey edges, and you'll get glue all over the stickers just from moving them around and stuff, but man, that looks like crap. Let me see. This side's even worse. That's all glue just smeared all over the place. And it's kind of because on the graphics, the glue kind of hangs over the edges. And these are quality graphics too. I think these are made by One. I forget, but they have 3M glue on there. They weren't cheapies. They were cheaper, but that's just because they were new old stock. So I want to show you this. See this one here, all the edges are nice and clean. I'm just going to show you a trick that I use to get that glue off really easily, and it just looks so much better, and you won't have dirt and stuff being attracted to that sticky glue. So let me show you. So I have this set up kind of in a good spot to show you. Got the glue line right there, some glue right here. It looks like crap. So what I'm going to use is carburetor cleaner. Now, I like to use brake clean, actually. I think it works better, but this will work just fine. I'm just out of brake clean right now. And you can also use adhesive remover. That's going to work fine. Now, I've had no problem spraying this right on the plastics and wiping it off, or spraying it on a paper towel or a rag and wiping it off. I've never had anything discolor. You know, I'm sure there's going to be some people in the comment section saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." Well, guess what? I never had a problem doing it, so this is the way I do it. If you want to try it out. If not, I don't really care. So here we go. I'll show you. Just shoot that real quick. And it takes that crap right off. You just got to do it fast because once it dries, it becomes gluey again. You can see that line looks much better. You don't have that glue residue all over the place. Definitely makes it more presentable. And it's fairly easy to do. Like I said, brake clean works a little bit better and quicker, but this carb cleaner will get the job done for tonight. All right, most of that sticker residue is gone. Let's put our seat back on and see what this thing looks like. Now, some of you guys are going to be mad at this decision that I'm making here, but what I've decided to do is clean these up and just make them look nice. I know that I said I was thinking about possibly taking off the engine covers and either powder coating them or doing a Cerakote, something like that. But in the interest of time, you know, this isn't supposed to be a show bike or anything like that. This is supposed to be a quick build bike, just something for me to ride. And I think it's looking great and everything. And I think what I'm going to do here is going to make it look pretty decent, and it should turn out pretty nice. It's going to be the quickest way, and that way we can get to moving on with our next quad project. So what I'm going to use is this little die grinder with a roll-lock pad on here. It's a red Scotch-Brite, and I'm just going to scuff up the surface of this. It should leave the Yamaha logo black and kind of give it like a brushed look. We'll see what it looks like. If it looks like crap, you know, maybe we'll pull it off and do something else with it. But I think this will make it look a lot better than it is now. So we'll see. All right, guys, there it is. It's not perfect, but it definitely looks way better than it did before. I tried to put like kind of striping in it. And like I said, it looks a lot better than before. Remember, guys, this is not intended to be a show bike. There's a lot of stuff on this that I could have made nicer. It was supposed to be a quick turnaround, kind of show you guys how easily you can make a dirt bike look totally different. I cleaned up this side a little bit too. Like I said, it's not supposed to be a show bike. Just wanted it to look better than it did before because it was looking pretty messy. So you guys can hate me for it. You can love me for it. I think it looks better. Hopefully we can all agree on that. And, you know, when you take a step back and look at it, I think it looks really good. This bike is definitely turning out awesome. I'm really happy with the way this thing's looking. There's a couple more things we have to do before we can fire this thing up. So as you can see, we got to put some fresh oil in this thing. DBC Racing was kind enough to hook us up with some fresh MX4 from Klotz. Now, I've never actually run this Klotz racing oil. However, I've never had an issue with any Klotz products. It's always been great stuff. This is specifically formulated for 4-stroke motocross bikes. It's good to go for wet clutches, and it's, like I said, it is specifically made for motocross bikes. I can't imagine we're going to have any issues with this stuff. So thank you, DBC Racing. Make sure to check them out on Instagram at DBC Racing. They also have dbcracing.com. Those guys specialize in all kinds of 4-stroke stuff, 2-stroke stuff, but specifically Honda 250R and 450Rs. If you like just looking at badass bikes, definitely check them out on Instagram. They recently just built a 250R that is immaculate. All right, so we're going to go ahead and change out the oil filter. Boom. Performance mod of the century right there. No other mods needed. And just one last thing to do. Gotta make it official. Hell yeah. I am so happy with the way this bike turned out. It is 100% done. Check this thing out, guys. I think it looks amazing. It is 100% the vision that I had for what I wanted. This is perfect. I think the wheels look really good. Everything just looks really good. It flows really nice. These levers look awesome. Man, I am really, really happy with the way this thing turned out. And I really don't think the exhaust looks all that bad. I kind of like it with the big gun sticking out. We'll see. I might chop it down to like here, but it sounds pretty good. I did fire it up. It started up pretty nicely. But man, that came out nice. This $13 seat cover looks really good. That one wrinkle there, that's my fault. It might go away in time, who knows? But it looks good, man. Looking good. Alright guys, what the hell. We'll take this thing for a quick rip around the block. I can't help it. Nothing crazy, just so you guys can hear what it sounds like. You guys know I suck at riding dirt bikes anyway, but I just want to see. So we got the chest mount on. I want to see if this picks up audio. Dude, it sounds so good. definitely needs a clutch. You can feel it slipping, and it's letting out really high up to the top. But dude, this thing's sweet. All right, guys, that was really fun. This bike runs really well. Unfortunately, I couldn't really feel all the power that it has. In first and second gear, you could feel it, but you could feel it slipping in the upper gears. The clutch definitely needs to be replaced. It's beyond adjustment, so that's going to be an easy fix. Dirt bikes are easy. We got that one plate, the clutch cover comes off, and we'll probably do that in another video. But as far as this project goes, I'm going to call it complete, only because we didn't plan to do any motor mods or anything, even though that's not really a modification, other than that slip-on pipe. So as far as this project goes, like I said, this is going to be called complete. I probably will have a video replacing the clutch, and we'll also have a budget video. I'll show you all the expenses that I have into this. It was a fairly inexpensive thing to do to switch up the looks of this bike. And I want to give you guys a huge thank you for sticking with me and watching this build series. For those of you guys that are new to the series and didn't see, that's really the first time I ever had this bike out. I bought this off of a friend. He had it in a storage unit for, I think, almost 2 years. And he sold it to me. We fired it up like one time just to make sure it ran. And from then on, we did all the work. I never rode it or anything. So that was the first time I ever had it out. So thank you for sticking with me, watching the series. I know this last video took a little bit of time to get out. Life's been a little bit hectic for me recently, but everything's cool. We're going to be rolling into another project soon, and the Banshee videos are going to start coming back to life. All that stuff that I wanted to do with Stupid Fast John, that stuff is still happening. We've both been really busy. If you guys follow Stupid Fast John, you saw he just bought a brand new house, and that's a huge thing to undergo. So his time has been consumed. My time's been consumed with some other stuff, and we're going to be getting rolling with those videos, guys. Stick around. Like I said, I really appreciate all you guys. Everybody's given me so much support. Really appreciate that. I've been trying to keep up with the Instagram stuff, and I'm really going to try to get on it and post up more videos and get a lot more interactive with you guys and respond to a lot more messages and just things like that. Also want to give a huge shout out to DBC Racing. Without you guys, I couldn't have got this thing going. We got the MX4 oil, the oil filter. You guys have been awesome, and just really appreciate your guys' support. If you guys want to check them out, it's dbcracing.com. Also check them out on Instagram at dbc_racing. They have some really cool stuff on there. So for this one, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys watching. We will have some riding videos with this thing after I get that clutch in there. And like I said, as always, guys, I appreciate you. Remember to give me a thumbs up. Leave your comments in the comment section below if you think this bike looks better the way it does now, or if you thought it looked better before, if I should have made it green, purple, whatever. I really appreciate your guys' comments, and other people like to read those too, so I appreciate that. And make sure to check me out on Instagram. It's Sabo350. Once again, that's Sabo350. And I will see you guys in the next one. You guys all rock. Peace.